Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name's Andy, Corporate Commander TFW, and I'm joined this week by... let's right round the room. Let's look around the room for stuff. The depowered battery himself. It's Mikey G Wolf E3. Hello, Mikey.
This view behind the curtain with you is slightly underwhelming.
That's not true at all, Mikey. I'm not behind a curtain. I'm in front of the curtain. You're ridiculous. Yes. How's it going though, Mr. Mikey? Is it going good in the hood?
I'm alright. How are you?
Not bad. Not too bad.
That
Sinister
will
undertones.
change.
Yes. No, that sounds about right.
Uh-huh.
We're here to talk today, as usual, about Transformers and Wonderfest. As I want to talk about Wonderfest, because that happened today. Yes, today, technically.
Did it?
It did. But we do have some other Transformers stuff to talk about before we get onto that. So we're going to kick off with Flametoys, as they revealed a crap ton of, sketches for their future projects. I don't think we saw anything physical from them, though, did we?
At Wonderfest they had a display, and apparently... Remember that thing we said was just a blown-up version of their Optimus that was a display thing?
Oh, the giant thing.
Yeah, apparently that's going to be a model kit.
Yeah, I saw Mr. Jason Kirk mention it, and I was like, Jason, I think you're lying. And then I looked into it more and went, he's not lying.
They're the first time for everything.
How big is that thing meant to be then? Because it looked pretty big.
It looks about 3 times the size of the regular ones.
So what are we thinking? Are we thinking like Unicron size?
You're heading to the large... You'd have to be at least Commander class.
What the fuck's Commander class?
Jetfire.
Oh, right, okay.
Leader to bigger, basically.
How much is that? So, well, is that the same size as King Jada, the Super Mini Pla?
Oh, I have no idea.
Because I know that kit's really big as well. I wonder how much this Optimus Prime is going to cost then.
All of it.
If he's that big, because, you know, they do get expensive the higher up you go. So, yeah, that's interesting. It's a little bit different, I suppose. So that's neat. Neato. Were there any of these sketches that stood out to you, Mikey? Because we have a few. We have...
One or two. I will do a correction here. TFW says these are based on the unique stylized designs of artist Akira Memia. No, they ain't!
No, they didn't look it.
No, he did the Rodimus.
Yes.
Who is kind of a hybrid of all the Rodamai. But the other 3 characters are designed by basically the guys whose fault Gridman is.
Oh no!
So
Trigger.
They are Trigger. Yep, they are the Trigger designers, the head designers who came in, and the directors and whatnot, and said, like, let us do your toys.
Let that be cake.
Let us do it. Have you seen my desk?
Luckily,
me
no.
design one. Let me. They kept telling me to stop when I was doing Gridman, but I wouldn't because I knew you'd notice. So yeah, I think that's super cool that guys who are clearly mega fans finally get to dip their toe in. So they've confirmed they're getting a new series, a new subline for the 4i model kits, which are the Beast Wars line. So it's Primal, Lio Convoy, and Big Convoy. Didn't see that coming.
No, it's it almost feels like we're going down the path of those third-party companies that did the like Rodimus who turns into a bull, and it feels like it's not one-to-one, but it feels like we're edging that way, and I don't know. I'm not against it, but I don't know why we're going that way. Is it just for something different? Do you think?
Maybe.
Is it that time that Beast Wars had its day in the high-end toy collector market? Because, I mean, it very well could be.
I ain't going to complain if it is.
No, no. All right.
But we've got Primal, who looks pretty conservative. Like, stylized, but not crazy.
Yes, yeah.
You've got Big Convoy, who's a bit more on the extreme side of things. And you've got Lio Convoy, where they drank all the Kool-Aid.
All of it.
Who basically has gone for, like, this God of War Skyrim Barbarian King look. Like, I kind of love these. And they're amazing and beautiful and wonderful. And I also I'm amused by the fact they put down Leo Prime. Like, because they wrote down the names of the characters on them. And it's like, Big Convoy, Optimus Primal, Leo Prime. Because licensing somewhere else. But Amemiya did do Primal. He did do Primal, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, and he did Big Convoy, but he didn't do Rodimus or Lio Convoy.
Oh, fair
But
enough.
actually, Amemiya works for Trigger as well.
Does he? In what area does he work?
Don't
do you know?
know. I think he's high up.
Okay, like I'm
'Cause
guessing
he's
past like the guy that just does the designs. He's probably
No.
like an art director or something. Maybe.
Well, like, because he came over he's old school because he came over from the Gynax days.
Oh right, okay.
So he's probably I think he's
he
one of the,
would be
the
a bigwig then.
founding fathers.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
Founding fathers.
So what you're saying is he's not scrubbing the toilets.
No.
Okay.
He might be. But...
Because I imagine the people at Trigger are. I imagine the people that do really good work are also the people who scrub toilets and also happen to be incredible animators. Because I just imagine everyone there is a great animator.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong. Get in contact, Trigger.
These all look excellent.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad to see that this line is clearly doing well. Because
Yes, I'm kind of surprised in a lot of
Yeah.
ways, but not unpleasantly so.
kind of expected it to have died about
Yes.
3 figures in, because that's how this goes.
Because Action Masters, lol, 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 lol.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
So apparently this is going well enough that they're saying there's at least 5 more toys on the way.
That's great. That's really good. So I again, I may have made the mistake here. Are these drawings that they've shown? Are they the model kits? Are they the posable like Tarn and Drift and those
the
ones?
Drawings appear to be the model kit,
Really?
and-
that is surprising.
especially since with all that fur. That's
Yeah.
kinda weird. And the Rodimus is the high grade.
Okay. So the Rodimus is the Tarn kind of
Yeah.
equivalent, right? Oh, I'm surprised because I wanted to check as like like you say, all that fur, all that beast design. I'm like, oh, is that gonna work? There is one thing I think will be not slightly bad, but it's going to be disappointing, and that's the fact that the cape on Leo Convoy, which I really like, is probably going to be plastic.
Yeah.
which I get, I totally
yeah.
understand, but capes in plastic usually go
Have
one of
problems.
two ways. Yeah, they usually suffer issues. Usually they go one of two ways: of they're fine or they're really bad. Like I keep thinking back to Jobby's video on that Batman figure.
Oh God! Well, no, that's as he said himself. Never go the Revoltech route.
Yeah, that's it. There was Revoltech, which the cape was made up of like
A billion.
like 10 pieces.
I think this is going to be a
dear.
single piece that goes over the shoulder, which I think will work because when you've got that look going on, you're not necessarily looking for super dynamic poses.
You lie.
Well, like, you take the cape off, like, you know how this goes. You've seen the Toku, you've seen the anime. The cape comes off, the gloves come on. Off.
What?
He takes off the cape and things get fucked up. That's the way it
puts
works.
the lotion on the skin.
He'll have a moment where he grabs the cake, throws it up in front of the camera, suddenly he looks completely different, and then he starts kicking ass.
As one tends to do.
Yeah. What about you? I mean, any of these kind of catch your eye?
The Leo Convoy, like I say, I like the fact that it has a main to it in robot mode. It reminds me a little bit of Genesis Gao Gaiga. Just because, that's...
Everything does.
Yeah, I think that's the only robot I've ever seen that has like a pseudo main in a robot mode. I can't recall any other. Big Convoy is not nearly as stylized. I think Leo Convoy is the most stylized out of the three of them.
Yeah, just a tad.
Big Convoy just kind of looks like Big Convoy, but like they've toned down on the kibble dramatically, which is
And tidy
always
the
a plus.
proportions a bit.
Yeah. I don't know. I think his chest is maybe a little overinflated. But that just might be the drawing. It might look fine when it's made into proper. And the Optimus Primal, the Optimus Primal again reminds me more of a lot of the third party kind of techno gorillas we've seen. Again, not bad. It just feels like we've seen this already quite a bit. Though I'm sure it'll look good when it comes out. I've got no doubt about that. I'll be honest though, these aren't model kits that would get me interested in picking them up. Mainly because they're not characters I'm too interested in. Also because they're all good guys. And boo to that, sir. Boo.
Hey, Beast Wars 2nd Galvatron could be a thing.
That would be fucking cool.
Magmatron could be a thing.
Yeah, that'd be fucking cool. Yeah, I'd be all in for that. Mainly because those two especially haven't had any love ever.
No, not in a while.
I think they've only had the original figures. I don't think they've had anything else.
Well, like there's like Lio Convoy repaint, and there's a BotCon figure for Galvatron. There was going to be a Beast Hunters BotCon repaint that would have looked amazing going by the design pictures, but never got done.
Bummer.
It was going to be the Beast Wars Optimus redone.
All right. Yeah, that could have been neat.
Yeah, with the crazy wings.
I mean, it wouldn't be perfect because at least with Leo Convoy, there have been other ones like not a massive amount. Don't get me wrong, but we have had the Robot Masters and whatnot. So that it's more than Galvatron's had and Magmatron, and we've had reissues of Big Convoy. So, do you think they'll get repainted? Like, because we know that Leo Convoy has a few different repaints to him, and
They've
I
all
wouldn't
got black
be shocked.
repaints.
Yeah.
I mean, Primal doesn't, but you could see them doing it.
Well, he's had a grey repaint because I remember for the Robot Masters version, he had a black version, which was they kind of just switched out the grey on him.
Yeah, the toyish one and the TV one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like Big
No,
Convoy
sorry.
and...
I mean, like he actually had a black repaint for the Robot Masters.
A black repaint.
Yeah, like his black fur was repainted grey, and then all of his inner like white parts were repainted black, and then like the joints for like you know the gorilla face how it comes down to the chest, and it has the hinges. Yeah. Those hinges were coloured red, if I remember, bits like that. And he had red eyes, obviously, because he's evil. It was quite neat. It was quite neat.
Yeah. Also, they showed a picture of the work in progress Windblade design sketch.
They did.
Which is updated. I'm really liking this design.
Okay, honest question. Yes. What was the update to this? Because I remember we did see... I think it was coloured.
Before we only saw, like, it was very partial. So a lot of I think she was missing her arms. And we only saw a side... Like, this is the first, like, this is what the toy will look like face on.
Right.
So... I'm really liking the wings. Because poor old Windblade has been... It's weird. Windblade has been around for a good few years now and has never had a redesign.
No, it's always just been Windblade.
It's Windblade with slightly less curves or slightly more curves. So I like the idea of giving her more rounded space VTOL wings. I like the overall design for the head as well. I think that's really cool. The proportions and everything else. They've humanized her. Not a bad thing in my opinion. Not actually that different from how she was portrayed in IDW a lot of the times.
No.
And overall, like this, the fact this is a model kit is just bizarre to me. Never would have expected this to get a model kit, but I am into it. I think she'll probably turn out pretty cool. I like her little weird chin goatee thing.
Chin goatee.
I don't know what you call it in a woman or a robot woman. Like, is it just like her robot chin is extending down in kind of a Tutankhamun style thing?
Is it meant to be like potentially a string, like from the top of the headdress, and it's meant to just kind of come down like some kind of again some part of the ceremonial headdress? It's just like something that would just tie at the bottom of the chin.
Hope she comes with a big ass sword.
Yes, like Buster Sword Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah,
that would be great.
She needs to be like, I will fuck you up.
Yeah.
Because they're playing up the magical girl thing in this design, which, by the way, not the first time Windblade has done that.
No.
RID did it in a really weird scene. But I would laugh my ass off. It's just like, I'm a magical girl, and I'm going to split you in half.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I'm really digging this. I think this is turning out well.
I do have a slight concern about how the proportions look on the figure, because I'm not sure. I imagine the bow or the ribbon, I'll talk about that in a moment as well, because I've got stuff to say on that. I wonder how heavy that's going to be, because her ankles look like they'll be rather small. and that could put a lot of, depending how good those joints are and how
They
much
look
weight
solid
is on there.
though. They're not giving her the heels. It looks like they're linking
No,
her feet together.
I mean the actual ball joint that'll be used for her heel.
Yeah, I get you.
There's a lot of pressure that could go on there, and I imagine it'll probably just be a ball joint. It might be fine, but it was mainly when we had the side shot and I looked at the center of gravity, kind of trying to figure that out, and was like, that's potentially a lot of pressure put on that ball joint. It might be fine. I was somewhat worried about the heel, but then it looked like it's more of a solid piece, like you say, than say
more disco shoes.
Yeah. It looks a lot more solid than Hailstorm. Not Hailstorm. What was the name?
Slipstream.
Slipstream, who had those terrible heels that just folded inwards whenever you tried to put pressure on them, which was a really bad design choice. I also want to point out, I saw a lot of people saying that it looks like she has a big bow in her back. It might be a bow, but I saw it as the. You may not have seen it, Mikey, but have you seen in some video games where you have a fighting game characters and they're specifically from Japan and they have a giant rope wrapped around them and it's done into again that kind of shape?
Yeah, I know the one.
It's like thick industrial rope as well, it's just a bow. It's like, no, that's not a bow. Specifically, the ones that came to mind were Akuma and Goken from Street Fighter 4 had them. I don't know if they were trying to emulate that or whether it was meant to just be a bow.
Well, those wing, the little mini wings, those are a standard Windblade design element. Mm-hmm. So it's really what were they aiming of with the I think if I would suspect it was more about the maybe giving, you were saying center of gravity, I think maybe giving better balance, not giving her these big sticky outy wings that might throw her off.
That could be it too. Sure.
Although I think if she's wearing a bow in her back, I actually think that's a neat little aesthetic.
Yeah.
Or it could be butterfly wings.
It could be. I suppose it depends which route they're going down. Are they going down the ceremonial kind of Japanese aesthetic? Are they going for the magical schoolgirl kind of aesthetic? And with Windblade, it almost seems like it's a weird mix of both. Maybe?
I believe that's just Windblade in general.
Yeah. I like the fact as well that her jet mode is just kind of a very small cockpit on her back.
Yeah, just I don't transform. I just wear this for holding my wings on.
But no, I'm fairly impressed with her. She looks neat.
I like the model kits in general. I think they turn what I've experienced of them. It's a solid bit of kit. So I think it should turn out real well. And they use rubber caps on ball joints, which is nice.
I know one other bummer for this figure. There will probably only be one expression for her.
That is something I'm probably not going to be crazy about.
It's understandable, but there are kits that do have multiple expressions. Like the Dragon Ball Z kits don't have massive range to their expressions. They have maybe one extra face, but
they have.
They have standard face or the screamy face. Sometimes you might get one other one, but
Smirky face.
Yes. I'm thinking, yes, I think Cell has that.
Yeah.
But with a character you can get away with it with Optimus Prime because he's got a mouth, grill, face, so who cares? You can't do anything with that. I don't think they did it
stoic.
I don't think they... I don't know. I would like to see Windblade with more expressions, but I don't expect it. I don't expect it to happen.
When I think of Windblade, I think of that incredibly expressive art.
Mm-hmm.
She's always been books either Sarah who drew her. They both put a lot of work into making her expressive and poppy, or Corin Howell during her run, in fact. It would be really weird to have a neutral Windblade because I don't think of her that way.
Yes.
But no, I love it, but I'm not exactly holding out for it.
No, agreed. Was there any other Flametoys stuff that was revealed?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think.
Oh no, there was one thing. They said that, or hinted that one of their Optimuses, I'm not sure which one, is going to be getting a movie style Jetfire upgrade set, similar to what
that's right.
Star Saber got with or is getting with Victory Leo.
But there isn't a movie style Prime yet.
Not yet, but I think it's going to be if I was to put money down, it's going to be the Optimus they're doing.
Right.
The one where it comes with every weapon from every Prime.
That would make a lot of sense, yeah.
Just because I think it would be a bit odd not to have announced that you're doing a movie-style Optimus, but saying, hey, here's an upgrade kit for him.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
he
that's
exists,
not.
which he doesn't.
Yeah, that's not the way you go. You don't do the upgrade first. Usually,
That would be very odd.
it would be different.
Here's a
It'd be
weird
different.
space jet. If you buy another toy in 6 months' time,
Eh, maybe. I don't know. Interesting though. I mean, both you and I wanted to get the Windblade because
Yes.
I'd like to get the Windblade.
yes, I would kind of want to go mobile completionist on this
Oh, wow.
whole line, to be completely honest.
Oh wow! All right, go Mikey. Is there a repaint you'd like to see of Windblade, or a slight retool potentially, or just a straight repaint?
See, I'd like Slipstream if we're going retooling. Do you know what would be an interesting repaint? The Fortress Maximus colored Windblade from a couple of SDCs ago.
Oh yeah. She didn't have a very good RID figure that came out to utilize
No.
those colors though, if I remember though, right?
No. So it would be interesting to see them on what's probably going to be a better toy.
Yeah.
I mean, you could go Combiner Hunters, but I've never really liked that layout.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was her name? Combiner Wars cartoon. The really fucking random extra character they made using the Windblade show model. Oh, she's pink.
Oh, she was in the very first episode of Menace Killed Her. Spoilers.
No, not really. He sort of backhanded her and her leg fell off, and then everyone forgot about her.
I was gonna say she's dead.
No
No one went to save her, Mikey. She's dead.
Yeah, but there was nothing on that. After they left, nothing was going to kill her on a dead planet. So she's probably just like sitting there going like, "You bitch, I'm not dead."
They've tailgated her, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no.
What was her name? Maxima. There we go.
How do you remember that?
I don't know. I knew it had an M in it.
Jesus. How do you remember anything about that series?
How do you forget?
Drinking.
There's your answer. I don't drink.
But I still drink water and I forget. The bubbles burn the memories away. Right. Well, Mr. Mikey, do you want to take us on to the next bit of news that isn't Flametoys related?
No, but it is setting something aflame.
Are there loins?
Not really, possibly tempers.
Oh, no.
Because Takara Tomy, as previously announced, has been opening pre-orders for the War for Cybertron Unicron via the Takara Tomy Mall website. Also, so are American retailers like Big Bad Toy Store. So, it's been shown... Now, it seems to be completely confirmed now that the HasLab crowdfunding is only available to the United States, maybe Canada.
Yay.
Which makes it interesting when you're looking for 8,000 backers on $574 and you're only allowing one country to participate.
How many do we have so far, do you know?
Last time I think it was 1,400, 1,500.
Oh.
Last time I checked. We'll see. I'll be concerned if we get to the tail end and it doesn't spike.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna spike hard because me and you and other people have talked about this, that usually with these campaigns, it starts off high, then it lulls until right at the end. But if we're at, you say around 1,000-ish or over 1,000, yeah?
At least 1,500.
At least 1,500. That's still a lot to cover, to go up by.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
But anyway, so that means in the States, if you are an early adopter, if you are a backer and this figure gets made, you will, of course, be able to get it for the low price of $555.
Low.
If you're in Japan, or presumably anywhere outside the United States, right? Because these people are getting it because they themselves are backing the project, they have to charge a markup to make any money off of it. And in Japan, if you buy off Takara Tomy's Mall website, you will be paying 75,600 yen, which translates into a grand total of $696.
Woof.
Now, if you're in Big Bad Toy Store, which is servicing both the international market and those American adopters who unfortunately could not back the HasLab at the time,
Yep.
the sort of the post-campaign shoppers, you will be paying, I think, $730.
Woo!
It's close to $200 above. I'm not sure if it's quite there.
That's quite the markup.
Now, people have said several times that, and people have said to me in lengthy posts where I occasionally started tapping my finger and going, really? Basic economics, they're not going to charge what they paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is true. I will not deny this. And also that in the aftermarket, this toy will probably sell for over $1,000.
Yeah.
So if you're buying in the aftermarket stage, Big Bad is probably the best place to buy from because it will be cheaper than paying the eBay prices. However, we are dubious, or at least Andy's openly dubious, I'm cautiously dubious, about whether or not this toy is worth the almost $600 it will be charged.
Yeah.
To ask me if I think it's worth more than $700, an unambiguous no.
Mm-hmm.
And while I get that the markup is, of course, a thing, considering what's going on here, surely retailers would have tried to cut some sort of deal with Hasbro that they could back it at a reduced cost, so that when they do mark it up, either it will end up being sold at the same price as the campaign funding without affecting their profits, or it'll be above it but not a crazy amount. This toy, like, especially in Japan, when I think what you could get for $700,
yeah, lots of stuff,
and you could get a variety of Solar Jigokens and get high quality.
Yeah.
Or you could get one amazing figure that is just, you'll buy it once in your life. It's incredible. I don't think this Unicron is going to be that level of toy. And
probably not.
With respect to basic economic principles and the fact these guys need to make it probably at least a 20% profit on what they're earning, or what they're spending rather, are you out of your fucking mind thinking people should pay that money for this toy, which we're very, very lucky will come close to its asking price anyway? But this may never happen. This is running until August 30th. If it doesn't get funded, this toy will not be made. And they've confirmed multiple times now that this is not going to get multiple runs. This is your run. We're not getting repaints of this.
Do you not think they'll make them for like repainting and whatnot? Because I have heard some other people talk about the idea of that, and I don't think it would happen.
I have
myself.
heard that opinion. John Warner confirmed in Allspark that as far as he's concerned, there is no intent for this. This is a once-off. Also, the idea that you could do a premium toy in the same vein as you would do a leader class figure or a masterpiece figure, a premium toy that costs nearly $600, with that kind of marketing strategy, and make any money off of it, because no one's going to buy it.
Yeah.
Because everyone who wants this figure will get the original run. If they can, and if they can't, they are not going to be paying more for the same toy, but it's in more accurate colors, or it's in space green or something like that. That's just not how the premium market works. Like, this isn't like what I've seen is people applying standard Hasbro toy logic to this thing. Like, well, they're not going to make a mold they only get one use out of. But this is a premium level, high grade item. This is not playing by those rules. This is made to order. Maybe they'll do another crowdfunding thing where it's like, we'll do another run of it if we get enough backers. But like the Star Wars barge, that's not getting repainted. So yeah. Anyway, I've rambled. Andy, what are your thoughts?
It's still a pricey toy. One that, like you said, I'm very, very, very dubious on. I'm really interested to see if this does happen or if it flops. I would also, I think a project that you and I would both be more on board with, and I'm pretty sure would get funded, would be like, oh hey, it's going to be ringing a dead horse here, but what if they did all Dinobots, the original G1 Dinobots? Obviously, I'm not expecting you to spend $500 on the on the Dinobots, but you could easily do something akin to that, for a marked up price for the fans who want them, And granted, I think if you do the Dinobots, the G1 Dinobots, you probably would need to extend your market outside of the US. But then I think you should do that for this thing anyway. It still seems a bizarre restriction to only have it available in the US. It's massively kneecapping your market. And I can't imagine like just allowing someone outside of the US to buy it. Is that big of a thing? I mean, maybe there's some business and legalese that I don't know about that's preventing them from doing that. I don't know.
But like, think about it now. Like, you buy this toy off Big Bad Toy Store, and you're living in Europe, say. So that's $700 and something.
Yep.
And then there's shipping on top of that, and custom fees.
Yeah. Oh god, the custom fees.
This toy could conceivably hit $850-900 by the time it hits your house in the UK or in France or anywhere else in the world. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's objectively not worth that money on any level. And people are saying this is the divorce class toy. If your partner, your husband, your wife, your non-binary spouse, it looks at you and says you spent $900 on a toy that you're going to stick on the shelf and not play with, and leaves you, they're probably in the right.
Perhaps. It's something to be concerned with, that's for sure.
It just, this toy has gone from I'm kind of seeing it to you're being unreasonable very, very quickly, in my opinion. Like, I'm slightly bemused that they haven't opened this up to the rest of the world.
Well, here's a question then.
They need the rest of the world.
I do have a question, because they have had the Star Wars barge and the Cookie Monster. Do you think those were reasonable in comparison to Unicron? Or do you think they were as silly in terms of their pricing as Unicron is?
I think the Cookie Monster is a weird choice. Also, I heard that people are cancelling the Cookie Monster pre-orders to go for Unicron, which is a shame. But
badly timed. A lot of people have also said that this was not well timed.
No, badly timed overall. But the Cookie Monster, like, I can't judge that. I'm not sure how to judge the audience, everything else. The barge was by far a safer bet.
Why'd you say that?
It is a high-grade premium toy, yes, but it's a high-grade premium Star Wars toy. Mm-hmm. And you will get 8,000 backers for a Star Wars toy in America, no doubt, of any price.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was crazily priced for what it was at the time.
What was it priced at the time, do you remember?
I think it was about $500.
Okay.
And like I'm saying this, like, and then the secondary market hit and everything else. And if it did the same thing, I'd have the same problem. I didn't keep track of it, but it was a far safer bet that you were going to get everyone who wanted it was going to get it, or at least most people who want it were going to get it in the first round. You do not have that safety blanket with Transformers, especially. Like, a lot of the action figure collectors who have this kind of money want to get multiple figures. They don't necessarily want to get one toy. Because we're all very familiar with that feeling of buying that one Transformer and wanting it out of your house an hour and a half later.
Yeah.
And if that one is the size of an actual child,
it's as easy to get rid of as an actual child.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird how 180 I've gone on this. Like, they did a real good job, in my opinion, of undermining their whole thing.
It's it'll be an interesting footnote at the very least. Whether it succeeds or it fails, it'll be one of those things that we can look back on and be like, oh, that was a weird thing to happen, wasn't it?
I don't want it to kill the potential of the Hasbro thing.
No.
And I think it could. Because I don't know how they'll handle a big failure. Because this would be a big failure because...
but potentially too, if people are cancelling the Cookie Monster orders as well. This could kill Cookie Monster, and if this fails as well... What happens to Cookie? Oh, God.
He's just the back. Come here. Okay. Just like whiskey in one hand, chocolate chip in the other.
Like, I would also throw in that I've heard some people say it's cartoon accurate. I'd say it's partially cartoon accurate.
It's stylized.
Yeah.
Like, it's accurate to some of the cells in the movie. By the way, those cells varied quite a bit.
They do. It's not my preferred Unicron head either. My preferred one was the one with the kind of almost the pencil thin more mustache. You know, when it transforms and the camera swoops up to his face, or he swoops down to the camera. I like that look for Unicron. And granted, he didn't have any teeth.
No, the fangs are weird.
No, I get why they do it, because it is kind of, he's a demon, he's the devil of Transformers.
Yeah, but I don't know. But to be fair, no one in G1 had teeth.
No, exactly. They don't need teeth. They're robots.
G1 cartoon is the only iteration of Transformers where they didn't have teeth.
You know what, Mikey? It's like Muppets having teeth. Shouldn't happen.
I was going to say the Snuffleupagus has teeth, but he doesn't have tusks. So he
doesn't have teeth. Yeah.
How did they must die? The starvation percentage in Muppets must be ridiculous.
Cookie Monster ain't starving. He's got no teeth. He chews
you ever notice how he never swallows?
Well, that's true. He masticates the shit out of his cookies, though.
Yeah, but he never gets to, like, if he's not eating them, like, Cookie Monster's just that after filming, just lying there on the ground. Ivy!
Are you saying that even though he looks like a rotund Muppet, it's all just fur?
Andy.
Yes?
Andy. That's a man.
What?
In a suit. With his hand up.
What? That's madness. No, there was. I think there was one kind of Muppet that actually had a hole for devouring things. I can't remember what it was. I do.
He just put people in the bloody bin and closed it on top of them.
I think it was the Sesame Street ones that had the big mouths. They went yum 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 yum.
Oh
like
God,
aliens.
them!
Yeah.
Oh, they freaked me out.
I think they had holes in for devouring things, but I'm not sure. Anyway,
they were not pleasant.
They were weird. They were They made sounds, scary sounds. Shall we move on, Mr. Mikey, to Wonderfest 2019?
Let's.
Right, well, not a massive amount was shown there for Transformers, but they did have a few little bits here and there, a few new reveals, and I think they got a little bit gypped in terms of their Unicron prototype showings.
Yeah.
Specifically because there's a prototype of the Unicron toy in its planet mode, and it's smooth as a baby's bottom. It is detailless, and the ring around it is, I don't like, slightly holy. And we know that they have a better version of this because we just saw it at San Diego Comic-Con, which is probably why it's not here.
Yeah, and methinks this was the static model designed in the early stages that was never intended to do anything.
Agreed, yeah. They also had a prototype Unicron as well, which I think is the near final version or something like that.
Yeah, he looks more a thing.
Yeah, and they had a load of pictures up. I like the image of the Unicron toy slowly going towards Cybertron. That's quite nice. That's a good little bit of photography right there. In terms of other stuff we saw some pictures of Lio Convoy, or more pictures of Lio Convoy, and we saw he had his gun, at least one of them.
This is weird because what I've seen of Beast Wars Second, I can't remember him having a like, oh my god, it's the Lio Convoy gun.
Yeah.
But presumably he did.
It looks like a triple-barreled shotgun. Kind of neat. On his other arm, you can kind of just make out like rocket launchers. So I assume those are his flip-out ones.
Yes.
At least one of his flip-out ones.
He had many, many guns.
He certainly do. There's not actually a huge amount of pictures of him.
No,
just
and
on his own.
Bad pictures as well.
There are some fucking wonky angles. Some real wonky angles. They also had Black Arachnia in the case as well, but we've talked about that. They had, for some reason, a little translucent Optimus Prime toy, like Legend scale from the movie, and I don't see... Is that listed on here?
He's wee.
It might be like a Televi-kun... I think it's the TV-kun X Transformers 35th Anniversary Commander Convoy box set crowdfunding. Oh no, that's something else. Yeah. We could see the item included in the crowdfunding, which is a G1 Golden Trophy. A G1 Convoy Golden Trophy. A reprint of the 1985 Stars That's all with dots in between. Kit and the Transformers Super Complete Works book. Don't really know what that is. Do you know, Mikey?
I believe it's some sort of history/art book that they were talking about there a while back, but I don't know much in the way of details.
And the playset looks like it's clearly made of like cardboard or something like that. The trophy thing is quite nice, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just a spray-painted G1 thing.
Like, for what? Like, I don't know. I want to know what the crowdfunding aspect of this is. But
yeah, it seems maybe it is to get just those two things and just have the Prime as a nice extra thing on your shelf. It's it's a weird choice though, but okay, rock and roll. One of the big reveals was much clearer images of the Generation Select. That's important. King Poseidon / Seacons shown in the combiner form and individual. It says robot mode, but that means the combine mode because we didn't see the individual robots. We just saw them in their fishy beast modes. So Mikey, the Seacons, Piranacon. It's not got Neptune, I'm afraid.
That's the wrong one.
How do you think this has turned out then?
I think it's turned out pretty well, to be honest. I would never use the lobster as an arm. It's a silly thing to do.
Oh yeah, he's meant to be the gun, really, isn't he?
Yeah. No, no. I had a Piranacon for a good few years, and no. I think overall they've turned out fairly well. I will say there's a certain element of not blown away by this because hey, it's more Combiner Wars limbs. But we've seen Snaptrap before, or Turtle.
Yes.
The others. So I think one or two might be new molds, but I'm not sure.
Again, Mikey, we get some incredibly poor images of these things.
Yeah, but like what we've seen, like the beast mode seemed to cut them together quite nicely.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah. And yes, can I have the God Neptune paint, please? Because I like Sela more than Tentacle.
I don't think you're gonna get that though.
I think we might, to be honest.
I don't know.
Japan.
I don't know. Yeah, but Japan has to follow the rules of Hasbro now.
Yeah, but now we have Hasbro Select.
But this is going in that, so you think we're going to get two Hasbro Selects of this?
Why not?
We could.
Oh, they'll do the Energon paint. I said this before, but that's what they'll do, and I'll be just staring at them going like, but my pirates.
No joy for you. I would have really liked to seen some better pictures of like Tentakill.
I'd like to see the robot modes.
That too. That would have been nice. I do find that the Combiner mode suffers from the fact that it is coming off of the Combiner Wars limbs and specifically Abominus. It's very much Abominus, and you can tell that just from how the legs work and whatnot. It still looks fine. It still looks good. I'm still pretty interested to see how it all comes together and how much it costs. I would say probably 100, 120-ish.
Minimum, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say something like that. But yeah, looks solid. Fairly pleased with how that's kind of came out. What else was there? The Takara Tomy Legends Nemesis Prime 711 Japan exclusive.
Cool.
Yep, they really like the 711 exclusives in Japan. Yep. Though I don't see it in the case.
It's the movie one.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Never mind. I'm sorry. I'm not that sorry, though. There was the Transformers 35th Anniversary Convoy and Optimus Prime set.
Cool.
That's the thing.
Now this was Optimus and the G1 Optimus.
Oh, is that what it was? Again, okay.
The Bumblebee Optimus is a good-looking Optimus, and I do like Bumblebee the movie.
Yeah.
And
still.
I really wish Dropkick and Shatter had better toys.
Yeah. Now, this was the weird one. At least I thought it was a strange one. Beast Wars Neo, Big Convoy, Matrix Buster prototype. And it reads on, an unexpected surprise, not much information on Hoi, this new big accessory. I think that was a mistake there. The new big accessory will be released. It was on display together with the normal Big Convoy toy, not the recent anime color encore edition though. So what do you think this means, Mikey? Do you think this is coming with the reissue? Do you think it's a separate thing?
The reissue's out.
Oh, what's
They
this
did the
mean
reissue. I have no idea. This is bizarre. Some people are saying, is this hinting at a masterpiece big convoy? I don't think that's impossible.
It doesn't look like it would go with the Masterpiece toy, because it does plug in specifically into this figure.
Now, the Masterpiece could have, ports in there. And it couldn't. But, this is bizarre. I mean, it's a very, very show-accurate weapon.
I mean, is this like the final thing he uses to win the show?
This is using his Energon Matrix, his Matrix Buster.
Of course.
And it comes with Navi.
Oh, so it does. Huh.
Why? I love Navi. Everyone should love Navi. She's adorable. But what the fuck is this?
It's odd. Maybe it is just a re-release of not the Encore version, which was the cartoon colors, but the original toy, and this one comes with this blaster and Navi, I guess.
I mean, cool, but what?
Yeah, odd. Very, very strange. Don't quite get it. But hey, whatever. There was a Bumblebee movie dioramas, Transformers Siege. They had the figures that we've already seen on, and they had some Cyberverse stuff as well.
Rat Trap looks good with his not for sale eye patch.
Yes, yeah, it didn't look too bad.
It looked like he's got a story to tell.
Not one that we shall tell. Mikey, do you have anything else you want to throw down on these things here? These little things, these bits and bobs.
Rung can do the splits.
Who sorry?
Rung can do the splits.
Oh, yeah, I mean, not real surprise there, I would say.
Cool.
He looks angry.
So would you be if you weren't a deluxe, and you should be.
Oh, man, you're not going to let that go.
This go.
Yeah.
No. Like, everyone going like, oh my god, it's the greatest toy ever, and just like, you are lying to yourselves.
I would say that, but I just don't want a Rung toy. So, I'm slightly more against it.
I'll just like to start delivering them to you. Just like everywhere you go, just like a new Rung toy on your desk.
I'd be really annoyed by that, actually.
A small flock of rungs everywhere.
What would a flock of rungs be called?
Ring.
A
rung of rungs.
A rung of rungs. Mikey, do you want to take the next... I'd say the next two stories, because the first one's a quickie, at least.
So Cyberverse Power of the Spark Battle Class Spark Armor, all about that Ratchet with Blizzard Breaker revealed. So this is a Cyberverse armored, the armored up figures where a warrior Ratchet will get a snowmobile that turns into armor.
Yes.
Cool. Literally.
Oh no.
It's up on the Argus website right now for £16, but I'm assuming that's like not available to buy yet.
Probably not. It'll probably just be like a placeholder image until that wave comes in.
Yeah. We also got an image of a Generation Select Nightbird, who is I was going to say heavy, but not that heavy retool of Chromia.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer the Generations one by a significant margin.
I don't think it looks terrible, though.
Doesn't look as good as Generations one, though. Which
no.
I love the alt mode for that. Like, that car in black is sexy.
Yeah, it doesn't help that I don't think that Generations Select Nightbird mold is amazing to begin with. Like, I played with the Combiner Wars version, which was whoever. Who was it originally?
Power to Prime, Flame War, and another one. There's Greenlit, Searchlight, Flame War, and Moonracer. That's it.
Okay, yeah. I've never been a fan of that mold. I thought it was kind of just very bland. And when they retooled it for Chromia, again, kind of felt it was on the bland side. So they are working that mold. But then again, I said this last night in a conversation, I feel that the siege line's being worked real hard for repaints really quickly. I feel that we've usually had staggered releases for repaints, but they are really hammering them home at the moment. A little bit too intensively for my liking. Granted, I'm not buying them, so it's not a massive issue for me, but it is for talking about.
I might get that camo Megatron at some point.
Yeah. But not for full price, I'm guessing, are you?
No, but I'm kind of getting more fond of it as I see a few late reviews pop up.
Okay.
And I just okay, it's not the right G2 Megatron.
No.
It's not my real boy, but I mean, it's the one you say you love because you know there's a better child out there somewhere.
Oh no.
And you're just like, I love you, I'll raise you. But you'll know that I'm never quite as close to you as I could be. There's always that bit of distance between us.
Sure.
Like, I know you're inferior to someone else.
Yeah.
Like you and me.
Yeah.
Like, I like you, Andy. To a point.
Yeah. I reciprocate those feelings.
I'll just throw it in here. The last story is that Jack Lawrence will be at TFCon October.
Oh no, you missed the story.
Did I?
You did. The Siege Power Dashers, Sky Dasher and Drill Dasher, Okoma and Zetar, I think they're called, are being done for Siege as well in the future.
All right.
Do you know these, in quotations, characters, Mikey?
Not a clue.
No. Are you aware of the Power Dashers?
Not really.
Yeah, they were like Reflector. They were mail away kind of toys. And were more go-botty, I think.
Go bits.
So they're being who's who? Right, Zetar or Drill Dasher is the retool of Brunt. Do you have the story open, Mikey, or do you want me to send it to you?
No, I've got it.
Okay. So he's been retooled, so he's got a new head at least. I don't know. I think he's got a new weapon. I don't know if he's got anything else new and fancy about him. And the other one, Koma, Sky Dasher, is a retool of Six Gun, which I hear is a good toy. I will be honest, I think that Drill Dasher is maybe better than Brunt. I will say that. I love his giant drill head because it is stupid, and it reminds me of Screwhead from GoBots, which is only a good thing. And his colors are far more vibrant and interesting than Brunt's as well. I kind of would like to rub out that Autobot insignia and put a Decepticon one instead, though, and that would make me feel better about my life choices.
You and your weird racism.
That's right. Autobots are sucking. The other guy is fine. I don't know if I like it better. I probably like it about as much as I did Six Gun. It doesn't help that the colors are fairly similar. They've only kind of swapped out the white for the gray, and he's a bit more black on the chest. He's got a new head mold though. Mikey, how do you think these guys are turned out? Do you like the look of them?
They look okay. I'm not particularly like, oh my god about it, but I think they turned out fairly well. I think it's an original use of the old retool option.
Yes.
Which, you know, after the bazillion times they've done the same toy every fucking time, I think you and I are both quite pleased to say, hey, something different.
Yeah.
And on top, like, something different, not using like an Optimus mold. You know?
Yes, certainly. Yeah.
So I am glad they exist. I'm not blown away, and like I don't have your weird Autobot racism, but I'm also just not particularly connected to. There's no character element drawing me in.
No, I think at best you would have seen these characters in the background of a comic at best. I don't think they've had major roles. At least they're visually distinct from their counterparts.
Yeah,
the mold counterparts, rather than like, you know, Starscream, who is, you know, the same as all the other versions of Starscream.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Anything else on these, Mr. Mikey?
Not really.
All right. The last bit of news is the fact that Jack Lawrence is going to, I think, is it to DC.
October one, whichever one that is.
It's DC for TFCon in DC in October, the 25th to the 27th. Artist from IDW who did a lot of work on Lost Light. Has he worked on other issues as well?
I know I don't know. I know he's still doing comics, but I just don't know what.
Okay. He's done work, though. He does a lot of work. So he'll be going there. And, yeah, that's neat. Mikey, any other thoughts? Are you good and done?
I am good and done, son.
Right, Mr. Mikey, what have you been up to this week? What you done for fun?
Let's see.
Tell me.
I'm trying to remember, to be honest.
Tell me.
The wonders of working, you tend to come home and just sort of lie down.
You melted.
Yeah, yes. Could I just complain about the fact that fuck off, son?
Yeah.
No one loved you in the first place.
Mikey's ultimate weakness is if he doesn't drink, his brain decides to cause him agony.
Yes, and can you imagine what it's been like in the last week? It's like,
water me! Water me!
I think I'm up to date on Geo, at least with the sub stuff. They've confirmed it's going to end at episode 49, but the movie that just came out is the actual finale for the series, so God only knows. This was a weird one in terms of references because it's the main returning writer for this is Kamen Rider Aqua. Do you remember Aqua?
Was he the random extra dude from Ryuki?
No.
The shock dude.
Do you remember the O's Forze movie?
Yeah, not offhand.
The one with Poseidon.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Do you remember the other guy in that?
No, not offhand.
He was blue.
Okay.
And he was like from the future. He was Kamen Rider Aqua.
Okay.
In a movie with 5 forms and or riders. I know some people like that movie for the fight coordination, but I don't like it. So he shows up and basically says Gates and Tsukiyomi now master to the plot again and need to go home. Because he doesn't believe you should try to change the past. And they're like, did you see what our timeline's like? And it's also building up Schwartz as another Decade, and Tsukasa, what his role in things. And Tsukasa being very ominous, it's like, yeah, I lost my Decade powers. On the other hand, I could still kill you all. And I still might. I haven't decided. And we also get sort of the finalization of what Tsukiyomi's backstory is about her being she's not from the dimension. She's like Tsukasa, she's from another reality.
Right.
Like another dimensional multiversal reality. Her and Schwartz jumped over. It also tries to do stuff with the Time Jackers that really, 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 really required that the Time Jackers had an ounce of character development beforehand.
Is it all a little too late?
It's a lot little too late.
Right.
And it kind of highlighted the weakness of at least the actor for one of the Time Jackers, that they do a very poor performance, in my opinion.
Oh no.
Very noticeable.
Which one?
Aura, I think her name is. But she is lifeless in this. The younger guy, Hior, whatever it is, the child actor does a better job. He just isn't given much to work with.
Okay.
And we do get an interesting idea that somewhat spoilers, but I'm just going to throw it in. I think I tried to say something positive about Gio now. They enter in the idea that Gates and Tsukiyomi are from the future, but they were never from the future of that timeline.
Oh. Is this like a Back to the Future kind of deal? They were from an alternate timeline that was never cemented. They were from when Biff Tannen gets the almanac. Yeah.
And by going back in time, they ran the risk of making that the primary timeline. So, our Sogo was never originally heading to be Omagio.
Oh, but because they went back in time, they kind of made it a possibility that could happen.
Yeah.
You stupid motherfucker.
Yeah, and it was kind of interesting. But it also made me really realize that Aqua was here entirely to be an exposition fairy and tell you all the things that should have been, peppered across the entire show, because he says this in a massive info dump. I would have for 3 minutes. And he's saying it that someone takes the piss out of info dumps and go and then they'll say something like, oh, and of course that Tommy here was doing something else because A over there was doing something else and blah blah blah, and it was all like that, one long stream of conscious verbiage and speaking.
Yeah,
that's what he does, and it doesn't help that that means Aqua doesn't get any character in this.
Right.
They do have one little bit where he's carrying around the underpants that Eiji gave him, which he takes out before transforming and says he takes out his good luck tomorrow pants. And they have the O's henshin sound over it, which was a nice touch, but it also I keep forgetting that this idea that was a really, really early idea in the O's development that as a plot point got kind of quietly shoved aside as the show went on, kept on coming up in the movies.
Which point was that, sorry?
The whole underpants thing.
Oh, yeah.
because like there was always like, oh well, he's got some on him because it's part of the philosophy. But they make a way bigger deal of it in some of the movies than it ever was in the show.
Yeah. To be fair, they didn't have a massive amount of time to do it in the show because they had other shit to get on with.
Yeah, they had a plot and character development to work with.
Yeah.
By the way, him showing up in this kind of highlights just like, God, it's reminding me how much better Rose was.
That's a good show.
That's a good show, man. Yeah, and Schwartz shows off his powers, which are that he can summon he can create those little decade transportation portals and then take you into your own personal hell dimension.
Yeah.
Which okay. Because he's a bit more satanic. I think he's a bit over designed as another rider. I like the another rider designs in general, but I think he's a bit overdone. And also
bit try hard, is he?
Yeah, a bit for me. But he also summons evil riders from so far only movies.
Oh, okay.
But which led to a scene that really hammered home that Grangio is a bitch ass. Like, he gets the shit kicked out of him.
Are they going to give him a power up or something by the end?
Well, they've already said that Grangio is an incomplete version of Omagio. And in the movie that's coming up, he's got a sort of good version of Omagio as a final form.
Right.
So, I mean, you could pull that, but it's supposed to be an ultimate form anyway. Like, it's got, I'm powered by 19 riders. I'm incredibly powerful. And no, you ain't. Like, he's already been beaten one-on-one by base form Drive.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Drive.
But base Drive.
Yeah. Ooh.
Like, not Trideron.
Did he even have, like, a special tire?
No.
Oh.
They just had the
speed.
He did the speed, and he did the finisher with the Trideron car spinning round. Yeah. And he was just like, he got his ass kicked. And here, he's up against G4, the bear rider from the Kiva movie.
I don't remember that.
No,
that's fine.
I don't even remember. I know he was played by the actor who went on to do Saga. Remember Saga? Kamen Rider Saga?
Yes.
The ninja guy from the Exade movie.
Okay.
And one other guy whose name escapes me.
Fuma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the other writer, but there's one more in there. And they, again, kind of kicked the snot out of him. Like, another decade doesn't do anything in the fight. And some people say, like, oh, well, movie writer was just like, those were not the movie writers to use if you want to make Grangio look like it's a massively powerful form overwhelmed. Like, G4 got beaten by G3, and no one ever got beaten by G3. That was his thing.
That's true.
But he's like a bit like, I don't know. He's got a cult following because he had the missile launcher thing. Like there's this weird thing where he keeps getting referenced and stuff.
Yeah.
But apparently for this preview, they're bringing back the original actor and suit for Eternal.
Oh, okay.
And if he gets his ass kicked by like base form Gates, that'll just be sad. Because it's Eternal. And like that guy was a good character in a good movie. One of the only good Rider movies, if we're completely honest.
Yeah, there aren't many.
Don't fuck him up.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I still like Tsukasa in it. Like I like him way more in this than I ever did in Decade. To the point where I'm kind of tempted to go back and rewatch Decade with fresh eyes.
Okay.
Kinda, by the way. And I still like a lot of the aesthetics and stuff like that, but I'm kind of super pumped for us to hit the old Reiwa era and move on to 01.
Well, we're nearly there, though, right, at this point?
Yeah, and the writer for 01
how many...
is the writer for Exade.
How many weeks is it until the new show starts?
5 weeks, I think.
5? Oh, wow. Okay, so still a decent amount of time. Fair enough.
But yeah, they announced who the writer was, and it's the guy who did Exade, and I'm like...
It could be bad, though. Remember that something bad could go wrong. It
could go wrong.
Hopefully it won't.
Who's the producer? That can matter.
Yes.
Quite a bit. But at least we know that one person will probably try to do their best.
Mm-hmm.
And if it fails, it probably won't be their fault. Probably. We also watched a few animes. So Astra, watched up to episode 4 in Astra. That's doing a lot of character work. It's a fun show. I can't really get into anything about it without spoiling a lot of stuff. but they're
What
developing
episode are we
the
on to now for it? Like four or something?
four, yeah. They're developing their mystery. They're really delving into the character psychology. I mean, this one was... There was this weird... Okay, so there's this female character who's very demure and constantly apologizing and is clearly, like, scarred from something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And who is also really tall, but you don't notice that because she's designed to have massive breasts. Let's just call a spade here, right?
Okay, sure.
And then, like, there's this thing where they're saying they're running out of food, and they're going on about her being big, and clearly the intent of the scene is she's tall, she's quite a large woman in general. Like, she's not fat, but she's just, like, big. So she eats more, and they think they're making a bit of a joke, and it's actually making her feel really shit about herself.
Aww.
Every time they just go big, like the way it's phrased and the way they say it, are just like, stop staring at her chest, dude. Like, the lady's got problems. That's not where the food goes. That's not storage for the winter.
Oh dear.
I like her though as a character. Like, it's an interesting... It's something that's nice about the pacing of this show is that it's not setting up characters and dragging out and here is my own personal trauma 6 episodes down the line after you've all been kind of tired of waiting.
Right, yeah. That's kind of the shonen idea a lot of the time, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. This one, it's like not like they introduced early on that she had a bit of issues, and episode 4 they show that she can have a sense of self-worth. And I like that. I like the setup. Also, there's a cool alien threatened us, which I thought was nice. So Astra still liking. Also watched the first 2 episodes of Bem. So this is an adaptation of a 60s anime, Yokai Ningen Bem, which also got adapted into a new anime in 2005 and a live action series. I haven't seen any of the animes, but I did see the live action series, and that was quite good. I think it did it made a lot of changes, but it was quite good. So the basic premise is that there is a city divided in sort of an upside and an outside. So an inner city of wealth and an exterior city of poverty and crime. And a policewoman, she pisses off the wrong guy in her department. She gets sent down to the rough side of town, and she is caught up in an unusual murder, where she is rescued by a guy named Bem, who looks like he escaped from a jazz bar. And that's kind of important because it's widely tied into the identity of this show. Okay. And it turns out that what was killing people was a modified human being of some sort, and Bem saves her by revealing that he is some sort of demonic monster.
Oh.
He transforms, he saves her, but she sees him transforms, and she obviously is not exactly looking to be friends. He is partnered with Bella and Bor, something. And they are three natural monsters who are trying to help people because they have an ultimate goal of wanting one day to be human.
Oh, I've heard of this show now.
So yeah, so they were born monsters, but they're doing what they can to try and be as human as possible because they think it will help them one day transform into humans.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the whole thing is that they're ultimately decent people, and it's not about your exterior does not define you. You know? Bem's quite flat as a character, but it's like the flat sort of stoic, I don't emote too much type of guy. The young fella, he's very stoic, but he also gives this attitude of not giving a shit. Like, he's the least concerned about ever being human. Bella's kind of a cold, hot-tempered person who probably wants to be human the most. So far, they've only really focused on Bem and Bella, but they've only had 2 episodes, But I'm liking it. I have to admit, it's got a very late 90s, early 2000s vibe to it.
Isn't the manga meant to be made then? I think it's an old manga, right?
Yeah, no, well, the manga is like 1968. No, there was no manga, actually, now I think about it. It was an anime.
Okay.
Just an anime. But the musical stylings are so jazzy. Like, it's got, the late 2000s, partly because of the Cowboy Bebop influence, though, that kind of intro music and soundtrack was rife.
Yeah.
Like, this is just like you are in a blues club, you're sitting there, they've got the music going on. Like, the intro, I really, really like the intro. It's got a really nice tone. It's not blowing your mind, but it's definitely got that old school mentality of we've got a bit more going on under the surface, but we're not trying to weigh you down with ideas. So I'm liking it. The action is okay. It's nothing mind blowing, but there's a very nice scene in episode 2. That is also like you can tell like this was originally designed in the 60s because they've redesigned the main characters, but then they got one of the villains who's like he's a bowler who's made out of wheels and pins and things, and he looks like he escaped from Mazinger. Like he looks like a Go Nagai villain. It's kind of great. But no, I think it's worth your time if you're into something, like I said, like a bit of an older school one. I'm gonna keep watching it, I think. The only other thing of note was today, actually, when... well, there's one more thing I'll touch on it, but I ended up watching the trailer for SDCC for Primal.
Oh, yes. You sent that to me and Jai, didn't you?
Yeah, didn't know this was coming. A Gendy Tartakovsky show, which is going to be out in the fall.
I'm surprised. I thought you knew about this because there was a trailer out for it ages ago.
Nope, this is the first I saw about it. I completely missed it. So yeah, it's a non-speaking show set in sort of a cartoony, fake prehistoric time where dinosaurs and man are together. The main characters are a man and a T-Rex, and from what we understand of the narrative, it's going to be about their relationship and playing on the idea that mammals are rising and reptiles are falling. It looks hyper violent, but
yes.
it's Gendy. It's like if you've seen Samurai Jack, you know what the visuals are going to be. And the clip I saw of it, that was very, very pretty. Very pretty. I don't know how the story is going to work at all, but I think it's going to be very nice to look at.
Do we know where it's going? Did you say was it Netflix or something?
Adult Swim.
Okay, that's fine. So it's not like it's going on Cartoon Network and then is going to be killed like most of Gendy's work.
No, from the sound of it, it's probably going to be a one shot or one series kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
13 episodes probably.
It looks. I don't know. Like there's no set anything with these games. Yeah. They could do 5. They could do 20.
Yeah. I don't think they'd do a British series. 3 episodes.
No. But I'm very curious. It gives me a very Age of Reptiles vibe, and I would not be surprised if Ricardo Delgado was on at least the storyboarding, because the design of the dinosaurs kind of scream him, and also the layout of the violence is very him as well.
Yeah, no feathers on the dinosaurs. Pure dinosaurs.
Yeah, good wholesome dinosaurs.
That's right, ripping each other's faces off.
Yeah. Oh my god, that looks sore.
Yep.
Well, that's a thing that happens in nature as well. But no, I'm very, very curious about it. Yeah, I also took a break from Valkyria Chronicles because I'm really liking the gameplay, but I think the story is weaker than the original.
Okay.
So I just wanted a bit of a break from the narrative, and I picked up Horizon Zero Dawn and had a go at that. I'm enjoying that. Solid gameplay. It's mostly a hunting simulator more than it is anything else. So you're doing a lot of arrows and everything else. Like combat, close range combat is nothing special. But it's got good characters. I like the visuals. I like the overall world and the plot and designs. It's got a real problem at times with what I call the noble savage. Where, hey, do you remember the 90s where everyone thought that the Native Americans were this weirdly pure, hyper spiritualistic mothers of the earth thing, and we didn't know, we ignored things like tribal wars?
Yes.
And there were always the good tribe and the bad tribe.
Oh, the tribal wars, man, Jesus.
Yep. This is a bit Dance with Wolves. It's a little bit simplistic in how it's portraying them, and also it's doing that thing where some people speak with a very modern cadence,
right,
speech pattern, and other people talk with this weird, I am writing the native. So there's the one character who he never says "come with me" or "let's get going." He always just says, "I am now talking like this. Follow," and he always says "follow." I guarantee you, if I look this up, there's a fucking meme about it. I haven't looked, but I will put money down.
If there isn't, should you make one?
I will. I thought I was quite far into the game as well, and then the map opened up, and I'm just like, this is a very big map.
Yeah, like I said to you last night when you talked about it, it seems very much like a Assassin's Creed-esque game, open worldy style.
The open world thing, I think, will kill it for me if I don't keep the plot. Because you know me with the old open world issue.
Oh, yes.
Because I don't get anything from spending 24 hours wandering around the wood looking for flowers.
Yeah, doing the same task or mundane tasks at the very least.
Yeah, time sinks, they're called.
Yeah.
So I like... So far, I haven't hit any major problems with the... I've done a few time sinks, but I've enjoyed them. There's an interesting little hunting game in it. But I don't think I'm going to go close to 100%ing this game. I'm just gonna do side quests, do the main route, occasionally stop to make different weapons, and I think I'm gonna get through it at a decent pace.
It was a game that was somewhat made for you, isn't it, really, if you think about it?
I mean,
Robot dinosaurs.
The aesthetics of the creatures are super cool. It has to be said.
It is a very visually entertaining game. Like, even when it came out, I thought it visually was very interesting, even though it was a game that I had zero interest in playing.
Yeah, and I did, there are moments that will shock you, as you learned last night on Skype, when I died in an interesting way and literally couldn't stop laughing.
That happens in open world games.
Yeah.
There's usually that weird ragdoll kind of slight jank sometimes.
But just you're next to a cliff, something hits you, and you're just like, what? What's happened? But yeah, I would rather a tighter narrative, and I don't like how they're doing the Mass Effect thing of the when Mass Effect, when you're talking to someone, and the camera switches between one person and the other.
Oh yeah.
The people's faces are remarkably not very expressive.
Okay.
They're very, very technically well done, but it feels like they spent all their money on making them look like people rather than making them emote like people.
Oh, right, okay, so the graphics are good for the design, but they haven't rigged them.
Yeah, and
Right.
the other thing is there's this weird thing where the camera's constantly up against your face, so it's like that she's talking into the lens like this.
Extreme close-up kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a bit distracting, especially when they have PS3 level expressions.
Right.
But no, I think it's an interesting game. It's an interesting world. I like it overall, and I am having fun reprogramming robotic horses and riding them up to gigantic giraffes and climbing the giraffe and then stabbing the giraffe in the head, but he doesn't mind.
Can you not make the giraffe yours?
No, you can reprogram everything but the giraffe.
Well, that seems silly.
Yeah, but you do get the T-Rex.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, but you can, one thing, like, when you reprogram most things, if it's not mountable, it basically just sort of follows its pre-prescribed route, and then if it gets near an enemy, it attacks them, or gets attacked. Whereas with the mounts, they're you can ride them and stuff like that, so there's no taming a T-Rex and having it follow you through the game.
Lame.
A little bit. But, Andy, what did you get up to?
I tried not to melt from heat. That was a big thing. I partially succeeded, partially failed. I'm only most of the man I was. I got in the post my Figma Salter figure, Saber Alter, the Shinjuku version from Fate Grand Order, the mobile game. She came with Cavalier II, who's her dog friend, who she makes, who's wonderful. It's a wonderful little dog mold with its tongue sticking out. She also comes with a hand that has a wrapping in it, which you can then put another accessory in, which is a burger, which is great. She can eat a little burger. I really like that. She also has a screamy face, so you can make it look like she's screaming as she's eating, or she's really intensely eating food. So I'm all for that. It's another fun Figma release. Which I primarily got because of the silly accessories, and I'm quite impressed with the figure just in general. So that was nice.
Yeah.
What else? I don't think anything of real oomph happened this week. I watched more cases of Lord El Malloy II. It's a very slow, methodical pace, and I'm hoping that's because it's 24 episodes rather than 12. I don't know. But it is progressing. There are lots of nice references in this episode as well as previous ones. But in this one, I was like, oh, and oh, at 2-3 moments in the game, in the show, which I was very happy about. Apparently, though, it's like jumping through the manga quite quickly. And I don't know whether that's because the others, it's trying to progress quickly to the point where the heavy plot starts rather than just doing the individual kind of cases he's solving. But when I heard that, I was like, oh, all right, okay. But I don't know whether these are manga snobs, which could very well be the case. Because
Are you suggesting a weird elitism among a certain variety of nerds?
I'm saying that movies versus novel people. I expect that exists in manga because I've had that feeling as well when watching Berserk. But you could also argue that Berserk it was a really bad adaptation because it was just terrible, as we all know.
Well, maybe the problem was you.
I mean, I am a problem. Am I the problem here? Perhaps not.
Have you ever found anyone who's just defended that Berserk adaptation, by the way?
Yeah, no, not the season 2. The original one, I still don't mind. It's, as I've said before, very under budget, but it's fine. What else did I get up to? So I did that, El Malloy. I don't think I watched anything else. All of my nighttime viewings have been watching Super Vet because it's very. I don't need to invest myself too much, but I get to go.
Noel Fielding.
That's him.
What got you watching Super Vet?
It's on, and I find it fascinating. He seems like I don't obviously know much about how to fix animals that have been run over by cars, or how to fix animals that have broken bones or anything like that. But to see a man who seems to be very good at his job work on animals and fix them and make them happy is quite nice. And also to see how intricate a lot of his operations are. It's oh, I've got to fix this rabbit's foot. And you're like, oh, that won't be too hard. Then you see him, open up a rabbit's foot and you go, that's tiny. What are you doing? Jesus, Noel Fielding. Holy crap. And the problem with it's not an issue I have with him as a vet or anything. But I look at Noel Fielding and I'm like, please go to bed, Noel Fielding.
He doesn't sleep much.
It seems like that's the case. They've mentioned that on a few episodes now where he's like, yeah, he doesn't really sleep that much. I'm like, please, Noel, you seem to be a good person. Don't kill yourself. You need to sleep to live to help more animals. But I do like it. I do find it a very fascinating show. So that's kind of what stopped me watching anime, and also, you know me, I like to have usually a big backlog of episodes to watch, so not having that and doing a week by week is a bit hard. So going through a backlog of Super Vet is a good kind of supplement at the moment. But Mr. Mikey, good things happened for me, and not really for me because my bank account may cry. But Wonderfest happened, and there were a few things that popped up, which I was like, as Jobby would say.
I love Alien.
I love Alien.
I love Alien.
I felt
that
really
man's a bit of a genius, let's be honest.
I felt really bad for Jobby though over this last few days as well, because he seems like there's one dude who's been a bit of a bitch towards him, and it's getting to him.
I read through the whole thread of it, and I'm just like, I don't understand, because it feels like someone is either white knighting a favorite YouTuber, who obviously is not feeling a need to attack Jobby themselves, or is making themselves feel significant because, hey, here's someone with a popularity, let me undermine them, which is a sadly common thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure Vangelis has had people, not with the direct reference to Filthy Frank, whoever the fuck that is.
Not a clue, but
no.
Apparently he was quite popular.
No, I know people have done similar things to Vangelis. Again, like I say, not with Filthy Frank. I'm sure they've done it with Thu as well. I think it's just a thing. You, if you notice a commonality between people, then you go, oh, you're copying them. And it's like, well, no, it's maybe a reference, but he has his own style. It's not a one-for-one rip, I would say.
And then, Jobby came out and said that he was very familiar with Filthy Frank and he was a fan of his. Mm-hmm. And he made a point am I being influenced? Am I a rip-off because I'm influenced? And I think I said, you're not a rip-off because you were influenced by someone else's work. You're a creator. Yeah. You're a human being. That's just part of it. So the guy's getting shit for stuff he doesn't need to get shit for.
Yeah. I felt bad. Yeah. He needs to be a good boy. A good big boy.
He loved Alien.
He loved Alien. That was not a great Godzilla figure. Or
that was
King Ghidorah. That's disappointing.
A surprisingly bad Godzilla figure, all things considered.
Yeah, it didn't seem to be worth the cash, but never mind.
Maybe I'll do a crowdfunder for it.
Again, I was never gonna buy it, but it's a shame because it should be really good because of what it's meant what King Ghidorah is. But never mind. At Wonderfest, they showed a good few Fate things. So they showed Berserker Jeanne d'Arc. So it's another version of her, but she's got swords. It's from the summertime event. So I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. Maybe one I can avoid depending on like faces. There's a new MASH coming out where she's got more of a techno look to her, and she'll come with not a VR headset, but something that looks like a VR headset. And I was like, oh, maybe, because I don't have a MASH yet. They're doing Caster Gilgamesh, specifically, I think, because the movie coming out for Fate soon, for Fate Grand Order, is him, or has him in it. It's the non-dickhead version of Gilgamesh. So it's the part of the story, or it's meant to be him when he comes back from his searching for the cure to immortality, and then obviously the snake drinks it and starts shedding its skin, and that's the mythology behind why snakes shed their skin and live so long. It's meant to be when he has that happen, and then he goes back to Uruk, and then goes, okay, let's make my city great again. Ha ha ha. So he's less of a dickhead here. So, and I liked him in the story, so I'll be getting that. Did you see the prototype colored version of Darkness, Mikey, that I sent you?
I did.
Oh, she looked good, Mikey.
She
looked good. Still with the normal face though. I'm waiting for the other faces.
I'm not sure anyone is ready for the other faces.
Ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da.
I'm just trying to think about how do you market that for the old display pieces, and this is for a very specific display that, well, is it better in context, or is it worse in context?
Yes. Well, remember, Kazuma has a pair of stolen underpants, so you know they know what they're doing. It looks really good. I'm looking forward to getting Darkness when she comes out. To go, because Aqua, and I still need to put in a pre-order for Aqua, but I'll have all four of the Konosuba people, the worst superheroes ever. They're great, I love them. Was there anything else? Oh, yes, Mikey, Tenryujin as well. Prototype for Tenryujin. Yes. Finally, it's happening. She's getting a figure for the very first time, official. I'm very happy, very looking forward to it.
I'm very happy, but as I said to you on Twitter, it's just like, you never really realize that she is just, for want of a better term, really packing until you realize that in prototype, with none of the colors of the sheen of her glass chest.
I think that's as well because probably the animation model morphed more so than anything else. I have a feeling there was a lot of give and take with how the proportions on that went. And obviously when you're trying to make a transforming model kit, shit has to follow the laws of logic and physics.
And the anime female form is a lot harder to pull off in perfect transformation, inverted commas, than the anime male form, because the anime male form in Transformers is basically a few squares on a shape, a few squares in the shape of a person. The anime female form is usually it's a woman who we're pretending is a robot. Yeah,
it's a lot more of a specific shape to it, which makes it harder. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to her coming out. I'm really interested to see, after having on NU and Onyu and Hyoryu and NU, seeing how those guys work, to see how those two will work. It'll be quite interesting, and I hope they're able to pull off the individual two girls as well as combining them quite well, because the combined form looks really good.
Tenryujin looks great, but I will say I'm more interested in Onryu and Koryu. Yes. They're a bigger deal for me. Like, Choryujin is a bigger deal for me than Hyoryu or Enryu, I'll be completely honest.
What about Geki?
It's the other way around with the girls. Like, I like the two girls as designs more than I like Tenryujin, and I like Tenryujin a lot.
Yeah. And at that point, Gao Gaiga's done. Everything will have came out for Gao Gaiga.
Did they do Mike?
Mike Saunders, yeah.
Mike Saunders, the 13th.
And they did that stupid one from the after Gao Gaiga manga. He's coming as well. But
Gao Gaigo.
Yeah, they showed him, but I didn't care to share it with anyone because I was like, I don't care about this thing. Fuck it.
Yeah,
Pretty
no one really
much.
does.
And I've actually been looking at them.
Here's a question: do we have like extra hands for the Gao Gai Gars to shake hands?
That's a good question. I don't think we do. I think Genesik has an open hand, so I don't think the original Gao Gai Gar has an open hand.
I mean,
the closest you can get is if you put them with both Protector Wall and Protector Shade. You could both have them high five each other.
No, there's a very specific image of shaking hands that needs to be done.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that, unfortunately.
Also, the idea of them like high fiving each other in context, it's just like Jesus.
Yeah, that would go badly. I feel just destruction everywhere.
Everyone is dead.
Oh my god! I can't remember if there was anything else I saw at Wonderfest that really tickled me. I think there was, but I can't recall what it is.
I'm
off the
into
top.
the Now For Me and
yes,
Raftalia figures.
Yes.
Although Now For Me's face looks a little off.
I think that might just be because it's grey prototype. But you might be right.
But
they are doing a philo, but it's an Android. And again, I didn't want to share an Android because I'm like, an Androids. And it's not a chicken version of it, so
yeah, no one cares. But for an Android, it really should be.
Yeah. There's no reason why they couldn't do a giant chicken version of it as an Android.
Now
It'd probably be the only way you could do it.
We need a Subaru Figma, and we've got like the ultimate buddy cop picture.
Oh yeah. Well, Subaru, Kazuma, and Naofumi.
Yeah, like
oh poor Naofumi.
No, it's like, behold our dark and troubling backgrounds. This is my problem. He just points.
Oh, Kazuma would be so pissed off at Naofumi as well. Oh, he'd be so pissed off. Oh man. I mean, did you see the end of Isekai Quartet?
I haven't actually.
Okay, because spoilers. It ends with them going, we've got new transfer students coming in, and the door opens, and it ends that you don't see who it is. That's deliberate so they can add in whoever they want. But it would be bizarre if they don't add Rising of the Shield Hero guys.
It would be a bit strange.
Yeah, just because it's done well. As far as I know, it's done so well. But did you see the Dororo Figma as well as Senya?
I think that looks good, but I'm not particularly interested in picking up Hyakimaru.
Agreed, but it looked good. I thought
it looked good, and it's a good design.
Yes, I definitely want to pick up as well. I've got that itch to go and pick up a Gosaurusa. I think it's called the model kit.
Oh, from
Nekutsu Sayako Gosora.
Yeah, because it was the competition for Brave at the time by not Sunbow, someone else. And because the difference was that they did like 3 series of toy lines, and the storyline was children piloting giant robots to come out of their school.
Yeah, I didn't care for the anime, but I always thought the robot design looked really good and interesting. And I hear good things about the model kits.
Yes. So I think they look great. It's weird. Like it's quite well known in Japan, and there's been quite a few figures of them over the years. But it's like you're the one that Brave beat.
Yeah,
it's a bit odd. It's a bit odd.
It's one of those things, I suppose. But I'm gonna probably pick one of those up at some point. I'm hoping.
Yeah, and I'm trying to constantly talk myself out of buying or putting in a pre-order in for Zangetsu Kachidoki.
Oh no!
Because I've had a design in my head for years of I should get all the Gaim final forms as a display.
Oh no!
But then, do you know what always stopped me from wanting to do it?
Money.
That, but also like all Zangetsu had was the Shin, and like I love Shin. Shin is badass.
Yeah.
But it's it's not a final form in the way the other 3 were.
No, that's true.
But you could say a Zangetsu Kachidoki would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
So I'm just like, shit. This could work now.
Well, Mikey, shall we move on to a little bit of feedback we got for this week?
Ooh, what did we get this week?
Did I put the stuff? There it is.
Where did you go?
That's what I always want to know. Okay, so we got a message from Tentomon4. Tentomon4. Where's the first part of the message? Is it this one? Yes. Okay. Firstly, I've been catching up, and most say that Mikey is wrong about JoJo again, as I think
Most
he's
people,
talking.
used to think the Earth was flat.
Some people still do, to be fair, Mikey.
Yep. And those people are a problem.
Yeah. As I think he is talking about Iggy from Part 3. I think that's the dog thing you were talking about. The horrible dog. Do you remember the
nightmarish?
Yeah, with the human face. Yeah.
The utter horror that was.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. But anyway, not Danny from Part 1. I mean, to be fair, I'm gonna read this, Mikey, and you and me, this is gonna sound like someone talking about astrophysics or high-end science, where you just kind of nod and you go, okay. So just bear with me. Spoilers.
I've been like that for the last month or so of these JoJo comics.
I was really worried you were just going to say, you talking to me. I'm really glad you didn't go there. I appreciate that. Because you could have. Ha-ha! I meant it, though. Spoilers. Izzy does get kicked too by Vanilla Ice. No joke. Yeah, the music references get real on the nose, sometimes in JoJo's. Fair enough.
All I can think is Freddy and Cromarty High now.
From what?
Cromarty High, which was a very surreal high school comedy where Freddie Mercury was one of the students. Also,
wow.
You know the gang leader Boncho types?
Yes.
That was a robot from space.
Okay.
But Freddie Mercury just kept on coming in, and they never said Mercury, but they always said Freddie, and it was always like, are we not talking about this? No, we're not talking about this. Don't make eye contact.
Did he look like the figure arc?
Yeah. But he was always like, everyone was always like, don't act like he's older than us. It's fine.
Okay. So it wasn't just like a student who looked like Freddie Mercury. It was just a student version of Freddie Mercury. He was adult Freddie Mercury.
It was just Freddie Mercury.
That's okay. Yeah. Okay. Why not?
It's quite a good show, in honesty.
There have been weirder things in anime, so I guess it's one of those things that I could just kind of look at and nod and accept at this point and go, all right, yeah, that seems logical. It continues, and to talk about JoJo and Transformers, have you seen these funny fan comic parodies of the G1 cartoon? He sends a link, and I'll send you that later, Mikey. I had not, so this is all new to me.
I will put money down that I haven't, but
yeah, hers, which is the artist. Also does a lot of JoJo fan art nowadays. Lastly, I will give Mikey hope and say we may, all in capitals, get at least shonen-styled hot-blooded Scottish lass in Pokemon Special / Adventure manga. I took a peek at the X and Y arc the other day, in brackets question mark. And I'm guessing because he wasn't sure if it was the other day or not. And they turned the female trainer into Y. The aggro sky trainer with the magic flight suit who yells at X to... I assume X and Y are the names of the characters?
I think that's the way they did it in the manga, yes.
Okay, fair enough. Yells at X to get out of his room and doesn't want to follow her footsteps as the Rhyhorn Rider. Oh, okay.
Listen, unless I see someone being beat to death with a bagpipe, they have failed me.
And
While swearing profusely.
Yeah, incredibly vulgar swearing. Incredibly vulgar.
Scottish Pokemon trainer is best Pokemon trainer.
Oh, yeah.
Fight me in the street.
Who would?
Someone would say, like, no, Ash Ketchum is a deep and meaningful character. Go fuck yourself.
I can't think of someone who would fight you in the street about that. Scottish Pokemon trainer.
Yeah, you know what? Fine. Come at me. Because at least I'll die happy.
I was going to say you'd lose. covered in glass.
He just beat you to death with one of those giant Pokeballs.
It could happen. And let's not forget about Tarzan Girl Sapphire from Gen 3. So who knows what they will do. Enjoy your race cars, lasers, and aeroplanes. That's a DuckTales reference. Bye.
Airplanes.
You finished that as well.
Yes, I finished that.
Yeah. Did you finish that last week, or was it this week that you finished it?
This week, actually.
Okay, well, did you enjoy it?
It was alright.
It's not bad, is it?
It holds up fairly well.
It does. I will also throw this out. It is a show I would consider buying on Blu-ray.
It's a show that shouldn't exist.
Yeah. because
And
it's a show that people care about making it.
That moment
intensely.
you said would break me more than Scrooge did not.
I think Jason's on my side here.
I think the Scrooge moment is more poignant. I think it's a very poignant moment and a deep moment, and I was full of the feelings. But the Scrooge moment with the just perfect dialogue over it and the perfect use of visuals, I'm just like, oh no, my insides.
It's good. It's a damn good show. The only bad thing, there's only one bad thing about it, Mikey.
What's the bad thing about it, Andy?
It's not currently airing at the moment. We're waiting for the new season to start. Or end of season 2. I don't know. I think it's the end of season 2. We're waiting to finish. But anyway. We also have a new Patreon person, Mr. Mikey. This is where you say, oh, that's good.
Do we thank them?
We welcome them. That's how we do. Nicholas Cochran has joined us on Patreon, so thank you very much, Nicholas, for joining on board. I can only apologize for Mikey.
Penis.
Oh Lord, here come that boy. So, Mikey, where can people find you and your penis online?
RateMyDick.com.
Oh wow, okay.
That's a thing, by the way.
Is it? Oh wow.
I know someone who's used it. They didn't get a very high rating, though. I think they got like a 3 out of 10.
Okay. Is this an app for like phones, or is this a website?
Website.
Okay, to me it sounded more like a phone app, but
I don't know. It was a very odd afternoon where I visited someone at
you don't say. You don't say.
The conversation took an unusual angle.
You don't say. It would be worrying. Well, you know, if that's what you want to go with, that's fine. But I would find it a bit odd if that just generally cropped up into usual conversation. I would have to look at you at TF Nation if you appear and just be like, maybe not the person I remember, Mikey. You've changed. You've changed.
You've changed, but I've got a good rating.
Yeah, and that's all that matters. 10 out of 10, motherfuckers. Woo!
Numbers matter. You can find me on Twitter with Irish Pale. You can find me on YouTube as UWolf3. If you'd like to give us feedback or anything on the podcast, we've got an email address, the moonbase2 at gmail, the moonbase2 at gmail.com. We also take feedback on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, Libsyn, everywhere else. And don't forget, if you are on Patreon, you will have had access to our interview with Brian Ruckley, the writer for the comics, 1 week early, which is out now.
Yes.
Andy, what about you?
You can find me on Twitter as CCTFW, on YouTube as Cobra Commander TFW. You can find this podcast on the Moonbase 2 forums. We're on Twitter, iTunes, Libsyn, Facebook. YouTube is Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast. I think that's the most part. Mikey mentioned on Patreon, which is patreon.com/Moonbase2. You also get the Moonbase Woo Woo, which will be up at some point this week. And you can head over to ccbunker.weebly.com for all of the nonsense and woo-woo if we get invited onto other shows and we guest star, and I put them up there. Yes. So thank you very much for joining me, Mr. Mikey, for this week.
Thank you for having me, Andy. I love being here. I hope to have the opportunity to come back again.
Do you love Alien?
I love Alien. I love Alien.
I love Alien.
I love Alien.
I would throw it out there for the people as well. There may not be a lot of news coming, at least next week, I would assume, since we've just had a convention and usually it gets pretty light. I might be wrong, though. Maybe there'll be some fancy things. I was slightly surprised
by how much we had this week.
Same, to be honest. Same. But who knows? Maybe the week will surprise us, Mikey.
Announcing Bumblebee 2, Bay's Revenge.
No. You stop that.